Good morning, students. Welcome to Religious Moral and Life Skills Education 2. This is first year, second semester module that I'm going to present. I'm your tutor. My name is Martha Nitembenemia. I hope you know me by now. Well, let us start. This conduct class is basically for assignment, or in other words, it's an assignment-based class where we will discuss more on how you should attempt or complete your assignment in 2018. Well, there we have the name of the module and the code. Please make sure that you submit the right assignment for the right module. Welcome you all. I hope and I wish you are all hardworking, dedicated, and self-driven students in this course, because you are distance students, and as a distance student, there is no one to be behind you, pushing you to study, so you have to be self-driven, to be self-motivated, to be able to achieve your goals. In this presentation, I will cover the general guidelines that you need to keep in mind, things that needs your utmost attention as a student. So you need to listen very careful and take notes at the same time. The study materials for this specific module, we have a prescribed material, which is a study guide for Religious, Moral, and Life Skills Education 2. That's the main material, or the prescribed material that you should have or access before you attempt your assignment. You need to study the content of the study material, including the textbooks that are recommended at each and every, at the end of each and every unit. You will find the material where you can find or where you can read more about that specific topic. So those other materials, you can find their names in the study guide. So, and then from there you can maybe check at the Iol resource centers and so on, and in other public libraries to see if you can access those materials, or you can even search online. Please, as a student, you need to complete the learning out activities that you find at the end of every unit. Not at the end, but within the unit. Most of the time, after every topic, you will find learning activities that you need to do. Remember, this is a distance course. You don't attend classes regularly or in a weekly or daily basis. So, as a student, you need to do those self-assessment yourself to really understand and then assess your own understanding of the study content or of the subject content. So please complete the learning activities. There are a lot of learning activities in the study guide. So complete all of them or most of them, so that you can just see how you understand the subject. And where you don't understand, then obviously you will find out that you are struggling or to complete those activities. Well. There are some important notes and dates that you need to keep in mind. For example, the very first important dates are the assignment due dates. The assignments are always due on the 15th of January. So for 2018, it's 15 January 2018, and again, the same assignment will be due on the 15th June 2018. Remember, only 2018 assignments will be marked. So if you try to attempt or to submit a 2017 assignment, and submit it in 2018 January or in June, it will not be marked. So don't waste your time. Please make sure that you submit the right assignment for the right year. Copy and paste of assignment, it's plagiarism. Please, that's not acceptable or not accepted in the academic environment. So you need to make sure that avoid copy and paste. It doesn't matter whether you copy other students' assignments or you copy other materials from different sources. So write your own words and have your original work submitted. I'm advising you to form study groups to brainstorm about possible interventions, to study groups with other students I know you are distance students and sometimes it's very difficult to know each other, but if you happen to know 2 or 3 or 5 students that are doing exactly the same module and the same course with you, so form a group. It can be a WhatsApp group. These days, most people have smartphones, so you can utilize that platform as well to form WhatsApp groups where you communicate regularly with fellow students. If there's a question that you are struggling with, you can post it there on a WhatsApp group, and then other students can help you. So you can also sometimes arrange meetings if you are not far from each other. You can meet face to face and motivate each other and do assignments together. But and I'm repeating, but all the assignments should be individual, meaning that being in a group doesn't mean that you need to copy each other. So you can be in a group discussing, understand what you are doing, but when it comes to the assignment, you have to do assignments as an individual, totally different from the other students' answers. So don't copy from each other, but you can be a group and you can be together. In that way, you can motivate each other and still work together to succeed as students, because you don't attend classes. Pay attention to the exit learning outcomes in the index of the study guide. There are, at the end of each unit, you will find exit learning outcomes, what you should learn, what you're supposed to learn in that specific module or in that specific unit. At the same time, pay attention to the learning outcomes of every unit of the study guide. So what are the outcomes? What do you supposed to know or to learn from that specific unit? There are a lot of information in units or in study guide, but sometimes it's not really necessary to concentrate in everything. So you just need to check what are the most important things that you need to pay attention to. And you only learn about those if you check the exit learning outcomes and the learning outcomes at the end of every unit. You should understand as a student and familiarize yourself with the subject content before you attempt the assignment. It becomes a norm where you find students opening their books for the first time when there are 5 days or so for the assignment to due. So all along you have been registered, and then you just put the books aside and concentrate in other things, other responsibilities in your life. It can be family, work, and other commitments and other responsibilities that you have, and ignore your books for some months. And then when you see that the assignment due date is getting closer, that's when now you try to open books and see what you can find there. And in most times you get panic. You can't even find some topics, and the first thing that you do is just to call the tutor. This question, where is it? Where is that topic in the study guide? I can't find it, because you are not familiar. You cannot find it because you are not familiar with the content. You haven't gone through the book several times. That's what I mean. So you need to start as early as possible, read units, not only for you to complete assignments, but just to know and to understand what the subject is all about. So once you do that, then after you are done with the whole study guide, at least now you understand the topics that are covered, the whole aim and objective of this subject. What is it serving? What does it want to teach you or you to learn as a student? After that, then you start now to go specifically to the topics that are covered in the assignment. But don't start just going straight to the units that are covered in the assignment while you haven't read the whole guide. First, read the whole guide, check all the topics, familiarize yourself with the whole subject. The assessment policy, I understand, is a first year module. Most of you are first years, and this might be your very first year to be in a tertiary institution. You really don't know how assessment is done there, and so forth. There's a continuous assessment per module or per semester, which consists of one assignment, the one that we are discussing here. It's just one assignment, which is out of 120 marks for this module. And this module has 12 credits. So this is a module of 12 credit, and then it's only that you only get one assignment, which is out of 120 marks. Don't expect to complete 2, 3, 4, 5 assignments. It's only one assignment, and then the next assessment will be the examination. That depends if you qualify to write an exam based on your performance in the assignment. I hope that's clear enough. Then we come to the APA referencing style. In the academic institution or in higher education, students are expected to reference, to acknowledge the sources that you have consulted when you were completing your assignment or you have used. Download the APA 6th edition referencing guide. It's available online. You can just go on Google, or you can use Google Scholar and type APA 6th edition referencing guide. Put that word there and just say search. Then you will see what you will get. You will get a guide, you will get some information on how to write citations. Please, as a student, I know you are quite at the beginning of your studies, and maybe referencing is something new in your life, something that you have never heard of or heard about in your entire life, but that's the reason why you are studying. It's for you to learn new things and new knowledge and so on, and new practices. So you need to start practicing this now. You need to start referencing. Don't think that referencing is very difficult, it's technical, it's complicated and so forth. Don't put that negative, views or things in your mind. You need to motivate yourself that if others can reference properly, why not me? Please, as a student, you need to provide citations in text. In text means the surname of the author and the year of publication. You put it immediately after every quote that you give. And then at the list of reference, then you provide now the full detail of the sources that you have used. For example, then you start with the surname, comma, initial dot, the year, the dot, and then the title and the publication date, and so on and so on. So once you download the APA 6th edition referencing guide, it will, obviously tell you how to reference different materials. For example, the way you reference a single authored book is not the same as a multiple authored book. It's not the same as an edited book, and so forth and so forth. Or the way you reference online articles and maybe the newspapers and other materials. So everything is outlined there, how to reference in text and at the end of the reference of the assignment, where we need to put a title, list of references. Be very careful. I have seen in the past students submitting after every paragraph, then you put a list of references to say, that's very, very irritating and it's totally wrong. You shouldn't put a full reference after every paragraph. That's not acceptable. Or after every question. You're supposed only to have one list of reference at the end of your assignment, when you are done with everything. In text, it's just for you to put the surnames and the year of publication. You may even leave out the page numbers, even if you gave a direct quote. But please, list of reference should only come at the end. So I cannot explain everything about referencing here. We don't have that time, but as I said earlier, please download the APA guide. It's a guide that you can use throughout your study. For the next whatever years you will be a student, you might find yourself, consulting this guide regularly and using it almost every single day. Or for every single thing that you need to reference, you have to go to it and see how to do it. And remember, when it comes to referencing, everything is important. Those dots and commas and brackets and italic and so on, they are all important and they should all be applied correctly. Let us come to the general instructions and notes. Preferably, please submit a typed assignment. I really understand the challenges some students are experiencing. For example, there are no computers or PCs available to type your work and so on, or you are not computer literate, but I know you are doing a computer course in this program. So please practice what you are learning there. Start typing now. Stop this thing of saying, okay, especially for the elders, people who are in their 40s and 50s, they sometimes feel like, I will never learn, how can I type? I'm very slow and so on. Now you want other people to type your work. So try yourself. Type even 2, 3, 5 pages. And then if you do that, then you can give to the other person maybe to complete it for you, but still read it through and make sure that whatever you have drafted is what the person have typed. So submit typed assignment. It's not really compulsory, but I'm just advising you for your work to be neat, clean, and so on. You need to have to submit a proper, a formal, a presentable assignment. As a teacher, please always use practical examples when necessary. This will demonstrate that you really understand what you are writing. Because at times students are writing answers, but as you are marking, you start to wonder and ask yourself, does this person really understand what he or she is saying? So, but if you start illustrating with some examples, then it will show that yes, you really understand, and by that way you can earn good marks. Provide sufficient answers and check the marks allocated to determine the length of your answer. Please, I know we are all different, but you will find a person answering a question of 5 marks and is writing a full page or 2 pages. Then now you wonder what is going on here. It's just 5 marks, but why does it take 2 pages? Please don't write unnecessary content. Unnecessary content, I mean there are students who just take you have the advantage because now you have a study guide in front of you and you have a question, and then you can see, it seems, okay, I think the answers are here on this page. Now what most of you are doing is you just start copying from whatever, copy the whole 3 pages from the study guide as an answer for a 5-mark question or a 10 marks question. So, and then at the end of the day, now you expect me as a tutor or as a marker to pick what is relevant. Like, okay, I think this is valid, and then one paragraph goes, there's nothing relevant. Then I have to go to the next paragraph and another tick there and another tick there. That, please, you must stop that. Please start writing the necessary content, the necessary things only. Avoid copying unnecessary things and expect us as markers and tutors to pick the answers from whatever you write. So write what is asked and avoid copying the whole topic or the whole unit just because you don't know exactly which one is the answer. Contact the tutor after 5 o'clock in weekdays, and you can contact me during weekends as well, but not in the evening, not early in the morning, sometime during the day. Let's move to the notes. The assignment is an academic assessment. It's not a joke. It's not something that you do for fun. You complete the assignments for you to get marks, and those are the marks that will determine whether you can write an examination or not. So the assignment is there to test your understanding of that particular subject. So it is set for you as a student to show that your course understanding and your competencies, that you are competent enough to write exam. So take it serious as such, and please, when you are completing it, put your own, your whole attention on it, and make sure that the language is edited and there are not this lot of spelling and grammar and whatever errors. Thus, I really want, I will not provide answers in this presentation. I know most of you are sitting out there waiting for me to go through the questions and tell you, for this question, the answers are A, B, C. That I will not do because it's an academic assessment. I will read through all the questions that are in the assignment. I will give you some advice how to approach those questions, but I will not provide a single answer. Why? If now I have to answer my own questions, then what will be your responsibility at the end of the day? So I set this assignment for you to answer, not for myself to answer it again. Do you understand? So you must study the materials provided to get the answers for the assignment questions. So I repeat, I will not give answers in this presentation. That's your responsibility as a student to find answers. Otherwise, if I have to provide answers, then what is the whole use of setting up an assignment in the first place? Okay, my responsibility here today is to guide you on how you should successfully complete the assignment and score good marks. What are the things that you need to look at? But I will not provide answers. I will explain what's expected from you in this presentation and how you should answer the questions and things that you need to keep in mind. Okay, now let us start with the questions that are in the assignment. That we are talking about the 2018 assignment for this module. How you should answer the assignment questions. That's the main question. For example, the one question is asking you to explain the functions of a religious leader in the community. So as a student, you are expected to explain those functions in detail. What are the functions? They are there in the study guide, but I will not mention them here. Preferably use bullet points to make sure that the answers are visible to the marker. Sometimes you write things and you don't know where the sentence ends and where the new sentence starts and what and what. So please, for your things to be clear and for the marker to see clearly what your answers and your points and so on, use bullet points. Or otherwise, if you don't know how to use bullet points, then you can number them, like number 1, dot, then you write. Number 2, the second responsibility is A, B, C. Number 3, the third function is D, E, and F. So please write things in detail. Don't expect markers to assume things here and there, and write them as clear as possible. The other question that you find there is describe the core meaning of confirmation for Christians, Baha'is, and Muslims. But first of all, what is confirmation? That is the question that you need to answer in the first place. What is confirmation? And once you define that concept of confirmation, then you continue to describe how each of the religion stated in the question. We have 3 religions today. We have Christianity, Christians, Baha'is, and Muslims. So those 3 now you have to answer per each religion. So you need now to describe how each of those religions stated in the question practice confirmation and their general understanding of confirmation. Read about how they practice it. What do they do? If their members are expected to attend some classes for whatever period of time, you need to state it there. That they practiced it this way, they expect, and you have to tell us who are those people that are expected to go for confirmation. First, you define what is confirmation. Second, how do they practice confirmation? Those 3 religions. What do they do? If they are tell us the members that are expected to attend or that are eligible to attend. Maybe the age limits, whatever that you need to describe. And how long, if they attend classes, how long do they attend classes? And what do they do during confirmation? How they confirm their members, so to say. And generally, your general understanding of confirmation. Not yours, but these 3 religions' general understanding of confirmation. Obviously, they are different from each other, and their understanding, we expect it to be different as well. So tell us how Christians understand confirmation, how Muslims understand confirmation, and so on. That's it. We move on to the other assignment questions. The other question is outline the meaning of circled. You know what is circled means in relation to religion. It's, you know, what is it about. It's there in your study guide. You just need to read about it and just give a brief answer there. Mention 5 benefits of forgiving others and provide 2 examples. State what are the benefits of forgiving someone. Put it, put yourself there in front as an example. Think of a moment when you were, angry or disappointed by someone. Something happened so bad to you, but now you have for you to forgive that person. What will you benefit? What will be your benefits if you decide, I will forgive this person? Whatever happened, it happened. So what are the main 5 benefits of forgiving other people? We know in life we go through a lot. People do wrong things to us, but at the end of the day, you have to forgive. Why do you have to forgive? What do you benefit? What are the advantages of forgiving someone? And provide 2 examples when maybe perhaps you forgave, or you have seen someone forgiving the other person. Provide those practical examples. So you need to state the benefits of forgiving, and preferably use bullet points. Avoid long, unnecessary explanations. Provide 2 suitable examples as per your understanding. Don't go and scratch your head and Google and do whatever just to find 2 examples. This is something that happens, in everybody's life. It's in your own life experience. Obviously, you have maybe forgiven, or you have seen people forgiving others. So provide those examples. You don't need to stress about it. Identify and explain how to develop a positive attitude. We know in our society there are people with negative attitude, and first of all, you need to understand what is positive attitude and what is negative attitude, so that you don't mix the 2. Positive attitude is for you to be, it's a person who is always positive, who have a hope, like, yes, this thing will go well. Negative attitudes are people who are always negative of whatever is happening, even in terms of development coming in their area or so. They are just negative. Even when they are studying, they are negative, that I will never pass. That's a negative attitude. But positive is for you to think, I will pass, I'm a good person, I like my body, I'm what. Don't be negative and you think, no, I'm a stupid one, I'm an idiot. Don't be negative, be positive. And now identify and explain how to develop that positive attitude, because we have people in society with negative attitudes. So read Unit 8 and tell us, identify and explain to us how you can develop a positive attitude, or how can you encourage another human being to develop a positive attitude. Maybe you can see that my sister or my brother or my friend or a member of your community is having a negative attitude towards whatever in life. So how can you assist now those people to develop positive attitude? What are the things that you will tell them to do? The other question can be define. The other question is define and give a brief meaning of the following religious dates. These are very clear in your study guide under Unit 4. I will not mention pages here because pages will mess up everything. Your pages are not my pages. The pages that are on a Kindle, they are not the same as the pages on a printed guide, and they are not the same as the page numbers on the soft copy guide, and so on. So I will strictly refer you to the units. Study Unit 4, you will have different dates that are important in terms of religious beliefs. So they are outlined there. What are the meaning? Define what are those dates about. Good Friday, Ash Wednesday, Maundy Thursday, and so on. Define what are those dates for. It's there in Unit 4. I will not go further about that. Each subdivision that is mentioned there counts 2 marks in the assignment. So write a clear definition and give a brief meaning of what each concept entails. That's all that I'm asking from you. You don't need to write a lot for 2 marks. So in your own words, explain, that's now another question. In your own words, explain how do you understand the religious event known as the Last Supper. What is the Last Supper in religious term? It's a religious concept, it's a religious event, but it's known with that name, the Last Supper. Use your own words, your own understanding of the Last Supper. Study in your guide, and if possible, you can even read your your religious texts. We have Bibles and others. You can read there and get a clear understanding of what the Last Supper is all about. Read the study guide for understanding, but please don't copy directly from it. Just get an understanding and write using your own words. The other question is summarize what the concept of belonging entails. Here you need to give a clear definition or some definitions of belonging. What does the term belonging means? Discuss how you can teach children to say no to improper proposals, activities, and events in relation to child protection. Remember, you will deal with very young children under the age of 10 or so. So those children sometimes are very vulnerable to a lot of abuse and so on in our societies. So we need to teach them from an early age on how to protect themselves, how to say no to those improper activities and proposals and events. They are there in your study guide, and still you have to think yourself as an adult studying this course, what will you tell children, even if they were your own children for that matter? What will you tell them? How should they respond to the strangers? How they should protect themselves? Maybe when they're at home, they must not open, when a person is knocking and they don't know the person. Or when they are at school, they must not accept those funny gifts and presents and people telling them, come in my car, I will go buy you sweets and so on and so on. So think of those things. How children should avoid those kind of activities and proposals when people are tempting them with toys and food and so forth and so forth. Discuss how you can teach children what kind of touching is appropriate and inappropriate. That goes together with the improper proposals. As I said, children are vulnerable to a lot of abuses. It can be physical, domestic abuses. Sometimes their step parents are also abusing those children. So tell them at the early age what are the appropriate touching and which one is inappropriate. You can tell them if a person is shaking your hand, it's appropriate. Is your parent or your sibling or your friend is hugging you, it's appropriate. And what is inappropriate? It's there. How children should protect themselves from the abusers. That's the best thing. That's the most thing that you need to learn about that question and answer. Discuss the cycles of worship of one of the following religions. This is also a question there. You have two religions stated there, Christianity and Islam. So first you must try to understand what the cycle of worship mean in general. Then when you read about that, then you now go to the different cycles for each religion. What are the cycles of worship? They are there. So you need to discuss now how each religion is doing it. Not each religion, but you are required to choose one religion only between A and B. If you want to discuss the cycle of worship for Christianity, then it's fine. You leave the Islam out. If you want to go for Islam, you have a choice. So you have a choice there to choose one only and focus on that one religion. How do they do this? What do they do? What is the cycle of worship for that specific religion? List human right with regard to civil and political rights. We have different rights as human beings, and some are social rights, some are whatever rights. So, but this question here, the assignment is specifically for you to tell us to list the human rights with regard to the civil and political rights. Mention human rights which include civil and political rights as they appear in Unit 7. So use bullets because this is a straightforward answer. You don't need to go around before you come to the answer. Just write the answer straightforward and say, okay, A, B, C, D. They are there in Unit 7. Just read carefully. Identify the do's and don'ts when getting involved in internet chat rooms. Pardon me. So what people should do and should not do when they are in internet chat rooms? We know internet is everywhere. It's a new practice, an exciting practice, especially to the young ones, and and people with smartphones and so on. But before you get addicted to be on chat rooms and on social media and so on, you need to know the protocols of the do's and the don'ts. What things you should share, what you should not share, and so on. So you need to read the facts. They are there in Unit 8 and combine it with your own experience if you take part in internet chat rooms and social media. I know the majority of you are on social media and you used to chat in social media. You are either in Facebook, in Twitter, in Instagram, or sometimes you chat in WhatsApps and so on. So what are your own experience? Or what are, if you are not there, if you don't go on social media, ask those that are close to you who have experienced that. What are their experience of social media? I heard it's very addictive. Some young people are really addicted and they spend hours and hours on social media, reading and posting and so on. But people need to be very, very aware of what they should do and what they should not do. So you need to tell us all that. So the other question is about the characteristics of citizen engagement and responsibility, which is typically practiced in your community. There are several characteristics in Unit 5, but just pick the ones that are practiced in your community and provide practical examples. So here you need to be choosy. Pick what you have seen people doing in your area, in your community, in your society, so that you'll be able to provide a practical example about it. Don't just write everything that's in the guide just for the sake, because it's there, like in front of you, and now you feel like, okay, here are the answers, let me put them down. So pick what you have seen being practiced in your area. Don't write... the other question is, do you think it's important to protect the environment? This is about the environment awareness and so on, and environment protection. So please write your reasons as to why it's important or not important to protect the environment. Here you have a choice to choose. Is it important or is it not important to protect the environment? So you first have to choose to decide and tell us it's important to protect the environment, or it's not important to protect the environment. And then after that, you have to motivate your answer by means of examples. Why are you saying that it's important to protect the environment? Why are you saying it's not important to protect the environment? We all know what is the environment. You can Google about that and see what is the environment. But now you have to think as a human being on Earth, using different sources in the environment. Do you think it's important to protect the whole environment or not? Please read Unit 10.6 and plus your own views. So that's quite enough. Define and outline some important aspects of assertive communication. We all know what's assertive communication. Define assertive communication. It's there right in Unit 8. List some of the important aspects of assertive communication as they appear also in Unit 8. So that one is straight there in your study guide. In conclusion, please check your portal regularly for any information from the course coordinator. Complete your assignment well in advance. Don't wait until the submission date or until 2 days before the submission date to start running around and panicking and to put things together. And then by that way, you will be tempted to start copying from the study guide or from whatever source that you can access. So start well in advance. I know January is just immediately after the festival season, but you can even start as early as November, October, or even now September to put together your answers. Have them ready there, because you never know when you will get sick. You never know when you will have a death in your family or whatsoever. What things can happen in life. So start as early as possible while you have time. Draft your assignment, have it ready for submission in January. I wish you all the best, and I thank you.